Welcome to RE Uncut. Our daily shows are supported by Printforce, Shore Agents, Rock End and CoreLogic.
Great leaders make what they do look easy. Don't for a moment think that what great leaders do is easy, nor is it something that comes easy. Great leaders are not born. Their skill is the result of hard lessons, challenging themselves and asking 3 questions every day. Dino is going to ask his guest this week, Cameron Schwab, what those 3 questions are. He does that when we return.
Standing out affordably in a cluttered media landscape is difficult, but now there is a way using social media, buyer targeting and an engaged audience looking and thirsty for property information. The Property Show is an exclusive offering from realty.com.au that can profile and promote your listing to hundreds of thousands of eager and targeted property buyers and sellers. You'll be surprised at the low cost and enormous benefit of combining new media, social media and audience targeting. So get started by following the link on the homepage at Real Estate Uncut.
Hi everyone, it's Dean. I've got Cameron with me. Welcome back, Cameron, again, day 4.
Thanks, Dean. Good on you. Good to be with you.
Now, this one is, you led a professional football team and it's both difficult and uncertain. What are some of those tips that you could share with us in our difficult and uncertain world at the moment?
Yeah. Well, I always came down to almost three questions, I reckon, as a leader, is that in just about any situation, the first question you ask yourself is, okay, what does the role expect of me? You know, so if you're asking that question today, and you ask that same question of yourself 6 months ago, well, it's got very different expectations of you. If you don't, so therefore, if you're thinking that you can answer the question the same way now as you did 6 months ago, well, you're dishonouring the role somehow. So what I say is set aside 3 hours every 3 months to answer 3 questions. And the first one is, what does the role expect of me? But if something changes, which is as dramatic as the change we've gone through, you've got to ask the question all over again. So what does the role expect of me? And then the second question is, what do I expect of the role? Because the role has to be giving you, if you're going to actually spend so much of your life, so much of your time, so much of your world thinking in the context of the role. Like, we're not going to spend much more time thinking about anything else other than our role, really, when you think about it. And you can give this whatever context you like. It could be your role as a leader or a CEO. In my case, my role now is as a teacher. Probably, what does it expect of me? But what about your role as a parent? Your role as a partner? You know, what those things change as well, you know, all the time. So what do I expect of the role? You just need it to be for you what it can be for you. And the last one is, you know, what do I expect of myself? If you're compromising critical parts of who you are for the job you're doing, well, that's a very, very heavy price to pay. And so if you've become very unwell, if your relationships are fracturing around you, if you've become very unfit, if you're not sleeping, there's all sorts of elements that, and ultimately they relate to your performance as a leader anyway, I get that. But I spend a lot of time with leaders who have spent a lifetime climbing a mountain, have got to the top and they don't like the view. That it was just something that they've created for themselves, thinking that was ultimately going to, it's like, you know, we get bombarded with advertising, this will make you happy, and you get the thing and it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't change anything for you.
Why is that, Cameron? Why is that these are very smart people that they climbing the wrong mountain? Is it because they haven't asked those questions along the way? I
think a lot of it is that they're not clear whether the ambition that they're setting in themselves is in fact the right one for them. You know, and often often our ambition is actually created for us. You know, we get into a workplace and it's the next job, it's the next salary rise, it's the better car park, and you might actually go, well, I'm going to do, and often you came into the job saying, I really love this particular aspect, that actually when I became a leader, I stopped being that. I had to be something else. That was never what I actually wanted. So sometimes actually people staying in the area of their technical love is actually a much better place for them than actually climbing up, you know, some mountain to, in fact, you know, it's like the great salesperson who loved their job, who hates being a sales manager. You know, that type of person, they actually just love selling the thing that they were very passionate about. And then all of a sudden they're running a team and it's not their thing and they're not very good at it. And the team's dislocating around them and they're getting home at night saying, well, this is not what I signed up for. And every so often you have to experience that before you know, by the way. And I struggle with that a little bit, because I loved recruiting. I was a recruiter by background, as in talent ID. And then I became a CEO, and I felt that I'd actually distanced myself from the game itself. And so there was actually ways of which I worked out in the end that I had to stay in conversation about the game. Otherwise, I had a job there was too many elements of it I wasn't enjoying. And sometimes that can come across as a little bit selfish and a little bit indulgent, but you do have to look after yourself. And if you have a particular expertise in that area, you're adding value anyway. And if you're doing it in a generous, and you're not telling the recruiter who to recruit or the coach who to play, that type of thing, well, that's okay anyway. Some people mightn't interpret it like that, but that's still what's actually needed. And but it can be, sometimes climbing the mountain's important, because you actually get to see the view, and you then say, okay, that's the mountain over there I want to climb. Yeah, that's one I like, and I'm going to now focus on that.
That's a great point. And so those 3 questions are great that you should be asking along the way. That's fantastic.
3 hours every 3 months for 3 questions.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
The daily RE Uncut shows are supported by Printforce, Shore Agents, Rock End and CoreLogic. RE Uncut is one of the anchor shows at retplus.com, the home of property.